everyone, and welcome to my first video of 25NL. I've recently moved up from 2NL all the way up to 25NL in the past few months, and I've basically just been making videos for those that haven't seen any of mine before at each limit, usually starting at 2 tables and then having every other video after that at each limit with 4. With the pocket kings, obviously I'm going to put in a 3-bet here. We have got a a raise and a flat call, so I'll make it pretty generous. A7 on the button. These players here look to be playing a lot of hands. I haven't got that much information, so I'm just going to fold that until I get a little bit more information on those. So that's a decent flop for us. It is a very dry board, but I think given the fact that this player has hands like Ace King or Ace Queen, usually it's probably profitable to check there, but I mean, let me know what you think. But I think generally after a call from a 3-bet pre-flop, playing out a position, I like to lead out a lot of the time instead of giving my opponents free cards. Ace 9 offsuit's going to be a fold. The Queen 10, once again, I haven't got much information on these players. I've just sat down to these tables, so I'm just going to fold that. I found waiting until you get a lot of information is very profitable. There's no reason to just start opening very light when you don't know what their calling ranges are and things like that. So yeah, basically what I've done over the last few weeks is started playing 25NL. I think I've done a few thousand or 6,000 or 7,000 hands. It's been going pretty steadily. There's been a swing here and there, but generally it's been going very well for me. The main reason I make these videos is to get critiqued on my play. I like to get other people's views and opinions. Stop talking there for a moment about that, and with the Jack 10 suited, I would 3-bet here usually, but given the player's got a short stack, I think I'm just going to call. Once again, up the top left, I'll c-bet here. There is a flush draw and a straight draw out there, so we'll bet reasonably close to pot. Probably like to check raise on this flop here, especially with a short stack. We do hit our flush, so we'll definitely be raising here. Obviously that's a scary card. Queen Jack, I'll be punishing the limper. Out of position, I'll make it $1.25. Flat calling with the pocket 3s. It's hard to say in this spot here with the flush. I mean, obviously we're going to probably get the money in here, so if he has a better flush, then that's just a cooler. With the King Jack, I mean, he's betting pretty small. It's likely that he has a hand that beats mine. Getting pretty good odds to call here, but I feel like we're beat a lot of the time, and that $1.50 is a value bet, so let me know what you think. C-betting on this flop down the bottom. Generally take the pot down a lot of the time, especially to someone who's open limped. And I'll just make note that quickly take note this player's open limping. And obviously it's a pretty easy fold here with the pocket 3s. So eight 9 offsuit under the gun, instant fold. Pocket 10s, however, will be raising 4 times the big blind. generally like to make my raises pretty consistent in terms of positionally aware as to whether I'm in the small blind or the cutoff or under the gun. I'll make my raises pretty much the same regardless of what I have. And that's obviously a great flop. We are four-way action, so I'm going to bet pretty hard into this. Almost a pot size bet. I want the draws to pay, and I want any weak aces to either commit now or... So we get one call. I'm going to bet the pot again here. I mean, there's so much out there that I'm not going to bet something like 60% or anything like that. I think the King Jack's pretty solid enough to obviously open. I've got Poker Tracker hard running and Poker Tracker, and I have changed a lot of my stats in the past few weeks, so it's again on this table in the bottom left. It's probably not profitable to raise with that hand all the time, the King Jack. Just because of this play here, he seems to be playing a lot of hands, so this is pretty insane. Up the top left, we can put them on straight draws, flush draws, Broadway cards. Not sure if value betting here is a good option, but I think a lot of the time I think it is, so about a little value bet. And people could have, you know, ace 10 or something like that a lot of the time, so I think that's probably a decent amount to bet. As we can see, he had 8-4, so we can sort of take a note on this play that they seem to be a little bit reckless. I think it was 3, 5, 8, 10, 2. So I made a quick note of that because players like that we want to exploit later on when we know they have a piece of the board and we know that they're going to keep calling. So we don't need to wait to induce any sort of bluff. Looks like they basically got their money in there. Interesting to see how they played that with the queens and the ace king. So yeah, 125 pre-flop, 375 and a flat call. Okay. Just make a note that he's raising with that amount, and flat calls a 3-bet from the button. As you can see, I like to take a lot of notes, and sometimes I like to miss the blind, as I did on table 4 down the bottom right not long ago. So yeah, the difference between the table up here with the Jack 10 and the table in the bottom left with the previous player that looks to now have left is that the fact that they're not as loose playing pre-flop hands, so we can easily raise with Jack 10 and take it down a lot of the time, and if we don't, then we're in position the whole way on the button. $10-8, obviously I'm going to check this down, being in position. It's a great flop. It's probably an easy I mean, there's a lot out there, so wow, okay.